Oh, greetings, fellow Earthlings. It is I, Benny, and this is where we are. Saturday, well, early afternoon. Got a final on the 80th anniversary South Pacific Group build, hosted by Charlie Mack and Al Wood, I believe. I don't want to leave Al out this time. Anyway, what we did was the Pan Am Pacific Clipper. You can see it in the background. Now you can see it in the foreground. Made a very long flight right at the beginning of World War II when they got caught flying to a regular flight from San Francisco to Honolulu, and it passed Pearl Harbor right before the shit hit the fan. Then I flew on down to New Zealand, where it was redirected to LaGuardia in New York City. Couldn't go back the way it came. So Captain Robert Ford and his crew embarked on a journey that would last a month. And we had a little bit of history before when they left, but and make many ports of calls. They flew radio silence on a route that no one has ever taken before. Finally, the morning of January 6, 1942, they touched down in the sea lane of New York City, tied up at the Pan Am dock in at LaGuardia. So after a nearly 15-hour flight from Port of Spain, flew straight to LaGuardia. And this is an entry from the book by Ed Dover entitled The Long Way Home. 5:54 a.m. 0554. Bob Ford decided to give LaGuardia a wake-up call. It was still dark. He pressed the microphone button with his thumb. LaGuardia Tower, Pan American Clipper NC 18602. I'll point that out in a minute. Inbound from Auckland, New Zealand, Captain Ford reporting. Due to arrive Pan American Marine Terminal, LaGuardia in 7 minutes. Over. Well, the guy in the tower thought he was dreaming. Couldn't believe what he was hearing. Answered, Pan American Clipper 18602. This is LaGuardia Tower. Roger. LaGuardia, this is Pan Am. Did you hear that too? Sounds like we got us a surprise visitor. That voice came from Pan Am's Flight Watch office at the Marine Terminal. And neither one of those guys really knew what was going on. Tower controller, Roger on that. What the hell are we supposed to do with him? He can't land a seaplane in channel in the dark. And where the hell did he pop up from anyway? We don't have any inbounds posted on the overseas board. The guy said, I guess we'll just have to hold him until daylight. Just hope he has enough gas. Tower to the Clipper. Clipper 18602, this is LaGuardia. The seaplane channel is closed until daylight. You will have to hold for about an hour before we can clear you for landing. Advise intentions, please. Bob Ford in his usual style. LaGuardia, roger, no problem. We can do that. So after 15 hours of flying 31,500 miles in a month, Robert Ford was pretty calm. And say again, confirm your departure point. We show no overseas inbounds at this time. I say again, inbound from Auckland, New Zealand by way of the long way round for about the past month. It sure be good to get home again. So, as NC 18602 came across the north shore of Long Island, Bob Ford peered through the blue-gray light of the cloudy dawn, seeking out the familiar landmarks that he knew would be there. Even though several years has passed since he had flown the Atlantic routes, his memory of the area was still clear, and the newly acquired landing chart helped to pinpoint the necessary checkpoints. Shortly, he sighted the big natural gas tank on the Bronx shore looming through the mist. Then he made out the familiar outline of the seaplane channel. Reducing power to a standard rate of descent, he gently brought the Boeing around towards the final approach path. With the relaxed familiarity of a man coming home, he eased into the final landing attitude. Touchdown was feather light. As the ship settled into a slow taxi mode, he glanced out his side window. The spray still splashing back over the sea wings was freezing into ice as it made contact with the metal surface. So these guys haven't been cold for a long time, and I forgot what winter was like. And so they were tied up in LaGuardia Airport, January 6, 1942. So this kit was originally an Airfix. I think 1964 was printed on one of the inside of the wings. You got that Revell on the inside of the wings, not the outside. It was a pretty nice kit to put together. Had the usual early Airfix seam lines, which some of them are still there, like along this tail. I filled them in, but I really didn't want to do a lot of sanding along those wing seams here too, because it would have lost some of the detail on the wings. This piece, this cockpit windscreen, man, it slid in there. It's not even glued. It slid in very tightly, and I could take it out if I have to, but I don't have to. The decals on this kit, some of the best I ever worked with, factory decals. The only trouble I had was a split right here. There's a very thin piece, because this is not one piece. These engine covers are separate, but they laid down very nicely. So it broke right here, but that was me because it's so big, so I intentionally broke the other one. This decal, this is separate. This long decal is separate. No problems with any of them. These, it settled down with some microsol right over this crack. The only trouble I had, the only decal that gave me fits, and it probably would have been better as a single decal, was the anti-icing decal along these tail sections. It was two pieces, and it was supposed to follow this curve, but it really didn't. So I had got one on, and I was trying to put the other one on, and it didn't go, so I said, oh, what the hell with it. It would have been better if it would have been one piece probably and folded over like this. This is one piece, and it folded over very nicely. These were one piece, folded over very nicely. There should be a decal right here, but it didn't come with one. I painted it in AK Extreme Metal white aluminum, because I didn't want it shiny, because it's a flying boat. It's in salt water all the time. The engines had pretty good detailing. The only thing that I would do different if I built this kit again, I had used liquid mask in all these windows, and it went in there so nicely, and when I painted it, it looked good, but then when I pulled the liquid mask off, it kind of screwed up some of them, and even folded out the paint a little bit. So yeah, I think if I do that again, I'll just tape them if I ever put this kit again. That's something you can do if you ever any of you guys ever put this kit together, just avoid the liquid mask and put some tape in them. It'll come out a lot better. There was a decal. I don't know why it should have been smaller, or maybe I shouldn't even put them on with these. They did not fold over this rib, and like it would have been better if they would have been smaller, or if I didn't even bother to put them on. So yeah, those were the only two that look like that. There's not really a lot of paint going on with this thing, and it's black on the hull surface where it contacts the water. Everything else is white aluminum. This is a decal, very nice. This thing I lost 3 times. That piece right here. I had to, the original one, I don't know where it went. Got lost somewhere. So I had to make another one. I actually made it out of stretch sprue. And it looks alright, I guess. And another piece I lost, this intake right here. See, these have bigger ones over here. That too small, it just vanished. So yeah, I don't know what happened to that. And then I lost the navigator's dome, so I had to make one. When I used to make that, yeah, the clear kind of ate up these a little bit, so I'm not too worried about it because it just looks like salt spray, and age and flying just pulled them off a little bit. But anyway, this, I had it sitting up here and then it disappeared into the unknown. So I just took, let's see, how did I do that? I took some of this, filled in the hole, got a piece of clear sprue, sanded it to the shape, and then put some more of that over that piece, and I think it came out pretty good, if I do say so myself. So anyway, that is the Boeing B-14 flying boat that made a round-the-world trip unintentionally at the start of World War II, piloted by Captain Robert Ford. About these registry numbers, according to this book, 18602 was originally named California Clipper, renamed Pacific Clipper. That aircraft was already sitting in Honolulu. Robert Ford and his crew started off in American Clipper 18606. That aircraft made the flight from San Francisco to San Pedro to Honolulu, where they swapped aircraft and jumped into 18602. Now, I don't know, I think I got an idea where Airfix, or maybe even Minicraft, got the 609. 609 was originally called Pacific Clipper. She was a Boeing 314A, which had upgraded engines and larger fuel tanks. So Pacific Clipper 18609 is a 314A. However, I don't think they researched, or nobody knew it at that time, and the 609 is what ended up on this kit. I had gotten a set of numbers for it, but this 9 intrudes on this decals, and that's all one piece anyway. so there was no way I could practically change that. So I kept it at 609. So 609 is a 314A Pacific Clipper. After the war, the Navy requisitioned all of these flying boats, but they kept the Pan American crews with them. And after the war, the boats went back to their civilian owners. However, by that time, there was lots more land airports, and aircraft could actually go from one place to the other over water without needing a flying boat, slow, fuel-hungry flying boat. So by the early 50s, they were all gone, all scrapped, all wrecked, all sunk. Even this one, even the Pacific Clipper, she was gone too. Somewhere in Ireland, I believe, there is a replica, a non-flying, life-size flying boat as a museum. I mean, outside, inside, it looks like it could take off if only it had, if only it was flyable, but it's not. So that's the only thing left we have of these magnificent, luxurious Boeing 314 flying boats. So that'll do it for this one. I'm gonna get started working on something else. I got to finish up that helicopter for the before time runs out. I got 5 months before the end of the year for the HobbyLink International helicopter group build. I got to do that, and then I want to do a car. I want to do another car. So this has been did I forget anything? Probably. That's where we are. Appreciate you watching this long, extended windbag kind of video. We'll see you.